Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. When studios make billions off animated movies, of course, other animation studios want to get in on the action to make a few bucks. If you're sick of watching well-produced Hollywood films with good acting and good effects, take a look at these so-called mockbusters. The first one is so bad, it will make your night. Kiara the Brave. Brave presents a whole new Disney princess. The movie is full of beautiful animation and characters. Merida is the main character, and unlike most girls in the movie, she is brave and can shoot arrows better than the rest of the soldiers. A ripoff of this came out shortly after Brave's release, and it just disrespected the amazing movie in every possible way. Many consider this a terrible Indian film that should have never been forced onto the viewing public. Funnily enough, Kiara the Brave involves neither medieval Scotland nor a coming-of-age story where a strong female protagonist tries to forge her own path. The movie features a red-headed princess in a green dress front and center. The film's plot has nothing to do with Braves, and the movie was also straight-to-DVD movie. You must be thinking, what is actually in the movie? A superhero called Super K trying to defend the world of Dream Zone from the evil Bad Mess, while Kiara stands in the background doing pretty much nothing.
Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and you'll get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it. It really works.
A Car's Life, Sparky's Big Adventure. Cars wasn't exactly the peak of Pixar's creativity, but it's still a decent and entertaining film, especially in comparison to this. Throughout this chopped-together mess, we're subjected to protagonist Sparky, who only exists to cause chaos wherever he goes. After getting released in 2006, the movie has seen countless ripoffs ever since, but the worst of them, Cargo, came in 2017 after the release of Cars 3. It's like the film doesn't even try. In the movie, we're treated to what could be described as an onslaught of terrible animation, awful voice acting, and a collection of some truly detestable automobiles. The racing tracks are like illegal fighting areas, and the city streets look like roads from PlayStation 2 video games. This movie is about as cheap as a mockbuster can get, so we'll never understand how it managed to spawn multiple sequels. Tangled Up. Tangled was a winsome and funny new take on the Rapunzel fairy tale. With something for everyone, the movie's box office return approached the $600 million mark. Brightspark, a UK ripoff company, noticed, just as everyone else did, and got creative. No, not creative, deceptive. With a spin on the title and some familiar cover art, they distributed Tangled Up. Surely people were fooled by this one. It looks nothing like Tangled, nor would the two be confused for one another except for the misleading cover. Tangled Up is a badly animated cartoon-like movie in which the characters look like they were created in a 1984 Macintosh computer. Try not to get tangled up while buying the real version of this messed up movie. Izzys Way Home. You probably thought Shark Tale was a bad ripoff. Well, compared to this movie, it's a masterpiece. Izzys Way Home is everything opposite of what Nemo is. Finding Nemo follows a fish who loses his child to humans and swims across oceans to find him. The famous movie got so famous that they had to give the second lead her own movie. Asylums tried to rip off the movie after seeing how much money it made. In the movie, Nemo is looked at strangely for having weird flapping fins. As for Izzy, she has odd dots on her face. This movie was released in 2016, and the voice of the main character, Izzy, is provided by Tori Spelling. The movie follows Izzy finding a relative who is lost, and her friend Carl, who is another marine animal. The movie animation is one of the worst we have seen, but we have to keep in mind that this was Asylum's first attempt at a movie. Maybe it's time they come up with some original ideas instead of fishing for desperate money. The Snow Queen. At this point in time, Disney's Frozen has made billions of dollars and was the first Disney animated film to do so. Just to keep the cash rolling, Disney made a sequel that was released in 2019, and it has made more than $1.5 billion. With so much fame, of course, other animation studios would want to get in on this and make mockbusters. and that's exactly what happened with The Snow Queen. It was actually released a year before Frozen, but the ads and poster design were all later made similar to that of Frozen. The Snow Queen tells the story of the cruel Snow Queen, who is voiced by Cindy Robinson, covering the land in ice. Because of Frozen's success, the studio released 2 more sequels of Snow Queen with exact same characters and stories. Another ripoff of Frozen was called The Legend of Cirilla. The story focuses on the less than enthralling tale of an Inuit shaman and his animal friends, but after the release of Frozen, the name and even the signature logo were designed to match Disney's blockbuster. The company was sued and had to incur the wrath of Disney. Transmorphers. The year was 2007, and no one knew Transformers was going to be the massive box office hit that it was. No one, apparently, except mockbuster studio The Asylum, as they released Transmorphers on DVD a week before Michael Bay's film hit theaters. It's an eye-squintingly brilliant title, as anyone not paying full attention in 2007 would assume that this film is Transformers and would thus rent or buy it. It seems like the studio spent more on the creative title team than on graphics. However, when that person pushed play on the movie, they would have been treated to a strange post-apocalyptic film, if you can call it that, which takes place 400 years in the future after giant robots forced humanity underground. So not exactly the plot of Transformers, but at least the producers were thoughtful enough to distract you from the plot's terrible qualities by releasing the mysteriously misplaced special effects and sound effects. The Frog Prince. Disney was one of the first studios that starred an animated African-American princess, and it made headlines. After this, it became a norm to cast more African-American characters in movies for viewership and cultural purposes. The movie follows the classic Disney-style animation and was based in New Orleans. Everything about the movie was great, well, except for its mockbuster, The Frog Prince. Based on the reviews, you can basically summarize this movie in one word: lazy. Lazy because they only use a handful of locations, and the voiceover involves insulting imitations of supposedly African-American accents, and also because you start hating some of the characters immediately. While Disney's The Princess and the Frog gave us magic, great chemistry between the lead characters, and important life lessons, all we get here is a princess who throws tantrums, a king who resents his daughter's independent attitude, and a frog who will say practically anything just to score. Chopkick Panda. DreamWorks Animation's Kung Fu Panda was such a success, it got the rip-off treatment multiple times. The movie became the studio's biggest opening for a non-sequel. That got other companies thinking, and reproducing. Chopkick Panda may only be 40-something minutes long, but out of the many Kung Fu Panda rip-offs, this is the one that made people furious. The title, the cover art, the plot, all stolen from DreamWorks' hit. This movie is another entry in this list in which the animation is the priority and everything else is a panda-sized mesh of stupidity. The movie follows a word-to-word copy of the original movie, but the stupidity of its rushed plot and attempts to focus on humor over action leave Chopkick Panda feeling disjointed and completely pointless. Other ripoffs of Kung Fu Panda are The Little Panda Fighter, Karate Panda, and The Adventure of Panda. These ripoff studios really do love pandas. And with that, it's now time for today's subscriber pick. Today's photo was sent to us by a subscriber. If you come across a photo online and want to know more details about it, just send it over to us. We might even feature it on a future video. The Buzz Identity. If you are looking for a knockoff of Toy Story, you don't have to resort to cheap mockbusters. The Secret Life of Pets by Universal Studios follows the same storyline and characters. Woody is replaced with a dog named Max, and Buzz Lightyear with Duke. Just like Toy Story, both the dogs get lost, and while they are outside, they become friends and finally make it back to their owner. The Secret Life of Pets does cover up identities. The Buzz identity shamelessly shows the exact same character, just in really cheap animation. The animation takes scenes and characters directly from Jason Bourne and Toy Story movies. This is a huge case of plagiarism, but it turns out the animation is actually a parody made by a Cartoon Network. Maybe they could have spent a few more dollars on graphics. What's Up? A Balloon to the Rescue. Up was undoubtedly Pixar's best movie, so its mockbuster was expected. Because What's Up wouldn't have been an obvious enough ripoff of Pixar's Up, they had to throw the words balloon and rescue in there just to make sure everyone knew what was up. Featuring what was absolutely the most nightmarish-inducing animation you'll ever see, it's actually fascinating that What's Up even exists, considering the amount of time and effort that it must have taken to make a movie this bad. It's insanely racist in a way that only a movie that looks like a 90s screensaver could be. If it isn't yet clear, everything about this film is fascinating, and if you want to cringe your way through a night with some friends, you literally couldn't make a worse choice than What's Up. Which one of these ripoffs do you think were the biggest copycats? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe.